We started doing overseas. That's what I've done offices beforehand was when you had to do it manually. But then it came Caribbeans overseas. You give accounts out, and you have sites.
So the mafia, that was the biggest earnings for the
loans
mafia.
and sports. Yeah,
Loans and sports are the
loan
money
sharking
makers.
and sports was the biggest earns for them.
And a lot of these dudes that are betting with you guys, it's on a credit.
Yeah, so you'll get a weekly credit. So Monday to Sunday. So it's always a week behind. So let's say you bet from Monday to Sunday.
Right.
You don't have to pay out till the following Friday.
Okay.
But you're still going for that other week. It just keeps going. You know what I'm saying?
So it's a loop.
Yeah. So basically Monday to Sunday you'll bet. Let's say you're down 10,000. You don't pay to the following Friday, but you're still betting from that Monday, Tuesday. So then you lose again. You're down for the next Friday. You know what I'm trying to say?
So the type of gamblers you're attracting aren't betting $50, $100.
Oh, it depends. You get small ones.
Okay.
Yeah, you get it mixed. You know what I'm saying?
But you're also getting whales, like people that are throwing a lot of money
Yeah,
around.
you get that too. But that brings a lot of problems because the well gets dried out. You know?
Right.
How many times can a guy lose $50,000, $30,000 in a week? You know what I'm saying? It's gonna get dried out.
And when it gets dried out, they call you.
Not only that, when it gets dried out, they got to start working things out, Because, like, my people are like this. If you lost a lot of money with them, they'll work with you. Like, if you lost fucking 30,000 3 weeks in a row, 90 grand, then you lost another 30, I'll be like, all right, listen, come up with 15, 20. Give you a break.
So who's financing this? Vinny? He's financing
Ronnie,
the whole book?
Ronnie G and Jackie were the bookies.
So they're putting their own money out.
Yeah, well, it's all
risking their money out.
Not really risking. I mean, because at the end of the day, it's all credit. So when you open up this site, these accounts are $10 a piece.
Yeah.
To keep them going is like $400 a week, but you probably got like fucking 100 accounts. You know what I'm saying? So you figure you got 100 accounts, $400 a week, let's say, for accounts. Now they're making back $400,000 a month on them sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy money.
Yeah.
But when these people are like in a tough spot because they just lost 50 grand in
well,
one
they'll
month,
come to a loan shark sometimes and borrow it.
so then they get it.
It's like peanut butter and jelly. It's basically just
man.
getting in a cycle where, you're borrowing to pay bookies, you're borrowing, it's just.
And you were getting X percentage off collecting the money.
So how it works is this. Ronnie gives me money at a certain amount.
Yeah.
Let's say you want to borrow 10,000, right?
Right.
I get it at 1 point, which is, it's $10 on every 1,000 on every point. So if I give it to you at 2 points, it's going to be $20 on every 1,000. I'm getting it at 10. So I'm getting it at $10. You understand? So if you borrow 10,000 from me, you're going to give me 200 a week. I make $100 off it every week. You understand? But that's not usually how we do it. I'll put it out for 3. Ronnie will give it to me at 1, and I'll charge 2. So we all make a point.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'll make 2, whatever.
But a lot of these times they're taking out loans just to pay
bookies.
the gambling debt.
Yeah, it sucks. Or, sometimes they, their mortgage or things like that, stuff like that,
Wow. And tell me a story when, somebody was in hot water, they haven't paid, and now you have to come in and do whatever.
Right. So we had a real bad situation with a guy named Simone. Simone wasn't even a sports bet. It was a loan sharking business. And he had owed Ronnie like $250,000, $250,000. And Ronnie knew him for a long time. Ronnie trusted him. And Ronnie was away for a while. When he came home, me and Pudgy told him, said, Ronnie, listen, this guy's not the same. He's jammed up. He's doing drugs. Don't give him no more money. Ronnie's like, don't tell me what to do with my money. I know him 20 years, so he gives him more money. So his turn-in, I think, was like $2,000 a week. The following week, he's supposed to give like $2,500. He shorts $500. Now, if you understand Shylocking, if you got out $250,000, you should be making like $6,000 a week. Right. How the fuck are you short on the turn-in? That means you're upside down. So that means that you're actually taking money on yourself and you're not collecting when you're supposed to. So Ronnie didn't say anything there. I'm just like, oh boy, this is gonna be bad.
So you take the money and you hand him. You know it's short when you hand it to Ronnie.
When I hand him obviously we've been doing this our whole lives. If I short you on the turn and you're getting money at a point, you know what I'm saying? If you're charging 2-3 points, you're making $6,000-$7,000 a week on that money. So how can't you turn in 2,000?
Right.
You're collecting 7,000 a week, right?
Yeah.
So how can't you turn in 2? So obviously you're taking the money for yourself. You're not putting it out. You understand?
Yeah.
So Ronnie right there was like, he didn't say anything. And I didn't want to say I told you so because he would have flipped out. The following week, he shorts again. And he's like, yo, bring this motherfucker to me.
And this is his friend?
20 years. He's in our circle.
Because he wouldn't loan $250,000 out to just anybody.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
He does.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because someone's going to vouch for it if he doesn't know you. Like if you come to me and say he wants $250,000, $100,000, when he doesn't show up, I'll be knocking at your door.
I'm the co-signer.
You're vouching. You vouch for him? Okay, so basically if you don't pay, it's on you, right? Yeah, all right. That's it. So if your friend fucks you, it's on you. We had people remortgage their homes to pay. So, like I said, this is gonna get in. Like I said, so with Simone, he fucked up with the cash. We found out, and then he didn't find out. Well, I went to go pick him up at his house, and I said, Simone, Ronnie wants to see you. He goes, why? I says, bro, you shorted 2 weeks in a row.
You just show up to his house.
I called him. I said, you got to come in with me. We got to go to Delhi. He's like, what's the matter? I says, you know what's the matter. I says, you shorted 2 weeks in a row. I says, listen, you better tell me now. I says, you know this guy's a fucking nut, and you know what I do for him. I'm like, are you fucked up? Tell me now. We could work something out. He's like, oh, I know Ronnie 20 years. He's not going to be mad. I'm all right. We get to the deli.
The deli. So y'all were doing business.
Well, Ronnie was on federal probation. That was his fake job. He'd sit in the back of the deli.
Okay.
That was like his fake, no show. Like just sit there so probation looks like he has a job. We were just conducting business out of there. And we go in the back, and then we bring Simone to the back. Ronnie goes, come outside in the back. And Ronnie goes, so what's the problem? Why are you shorting me my money? He goes, Ron, what's the big deal? He goes, what's the big deal? Overhand slaps him. Boom, puts him to the ground. Now I know we got to beat him. I got brass knuckles. I brought them because I knew we were going to hurt him. We beat him senseless, and then we grabbed him in my car, beat him some more, and he shit himself. He thought we were going to kill him. Yeah, it's real. I hate to say this story. He actually shit his pants. We thought we were going to beat him to death. And this is actually in federal paperwork. He shit himself.
You're beating him in front of people?
Oh, yeah. And in my car, we dragged him in and beating him. Bad.
And y'all aren't worried that a cop is going to drive by, somebody's going to call the police?
Nah, at that time, no. But I end up, it gets worse than that. And then...
Wait, you got to tell me how it gets worse. He shits himself.
But I get stuck with him because I got to bring him back to his house. Ronnie wants his loan shark list. Ronnie wants his list.
So he's smelling like shit in your car?
Ronnie wants the list. Ronnie goes, I want to see the guys that got the money out. I want that fucking list to see what's really out. Yeah. How much he really put out of the 250, because he could only put out 100 and pocket 150.
Yeah.
He's missing a ton of money. So
probably what was happening.
Look, so Ronnie's been doing this 30 years. Ronnie knows the fuck he's doing. So he goes, Gene, don't leave his sight. I want that list by any means necessary. So I call Pudgy. Pudgy hates Simone. Pudgy's in our crew. And I'm like, you got to meet me by Simone's house. He's like, oh, boy. He already knew. So we go upstairs in front of his wife and his kids. Got to sit down with him. He's all beat up.
So you go inside the house.
In the house.
He got shit on him.
Beat up.
Bloody.
I said, you got to put, I made him go in the bath. I made his wife put him in the bath. Wait for him to come back out. Yeah, it was fucked up. And I says, listen, I told the wife, I understand, the situation, but go in the room. He can't leave. I can't leave until I get my list. Mm-hmm. And he didn't want to give it to us. So now
what was he saying?
That's his livelihood, he's saying. But he didn't want to give it to us because he knew he was fucked up with a ton of money. He knew it was going to be worse.
The proof was on
the list. Once I get the list, we know who's really fake names. If you're just putting names, So I end up having to put a knife to his neck, beat him up more through the house. And I put a knife to his throat. And that's how I got the list. And then we got it. And he actually was short $150,000.
Then what? What happens then? Then you go tell Ronnie.
He went nuts. And then, the names that we did have, we took the money. And it was enough to, look, so the list added up enough to be the turn-in. You understand? So Simone's turn-in was $2,500, but $150,000 was missing. You understand what I'm saying? You understand, right? So the 150 is missing, but he put out enough, like $100K covers the turn-in.
Just to cover his ass.
No, to cover the VIGs every week, but there's still 150 owed. How's he getting his 150?
Right.
You owe 250. So eventually, months later, he had to sell his home. He had to sell his house.
How did y'all come to that conclusion? He was begging, like, I'll find the money, money.
No, it got worse. I actually had to go to the house one time. I pushed the door in because they were trying to, hide. And I had to push the door in and go upstairs. It was becoming, real chaos. And then he went to somebody, and they were telling him, we can't help you with these people. You're with them. On top of it, he's with Ronnie. He's trying to go to other people for help. And it came down to it where we just told him, if you don't pay, we're just going to kill you.
And he said, well, okay, the only way I can get this money is...
Sold the house. He sold it.
And he sold it to Ronnie, or he just sold it and gave the money?
He actually came out with his own, the deal was, so the house was worth $700,000. He only owed $200 on it. So he gave Ronnie back his $150, and he kept the rest for himself. And he's a junkie anyway. He was like a fucking drug addict. Who knows what
you know where this guy is now?
I don't even know. No idea.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so that's how it works. You think you're best friends with the mob is very vicious,
So he knew this guy 20 years.
Yeah, right? But he's wrong for that. You know what I'm saying? You don't play with the wise guy's money like that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
He died just because he knew him. He could short him.
He'd be all right. Are you kidding me? Shorting him and that kind of money out, it's a lot of money. You know what I mean? Ronnie's a very strict with his money. Really bad. You don't want, you can't short him $10.
When you say he lost it, Ronnie, when he found out, what did it look like when Ronnie G lost
Ronnie
it?
goes into rages. He's an explodes. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, you know, he's an exploder. Like I am, hothead. He's a real hothead. And basically, you know, he goes into rage. Like, I'll kill this motherfucker. I was like, you know, let's just see what we could do. You know, and at least we were collecting enough for the turning.
Right.
That he was still getting his turning.